Right, hey guys, it's Weston here. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Pebble 2 smartwatch and seeing if it's the best budget smartwatch out there. So let's find out. So kicking off with the design first, it's a little bit plain, it's a little bit bland and a bit boring in my opinion. It's definitely what I'd call a functionally designed smartwatch rather than an aesthetically pleasing one. So looking straight at the watch, you can see it's a squared design. Now this is my preferred shape because circular ones don't seem to fit my wrist very well, but that's just me. Also, on there you can see we've got a bit of a raised display. Now luckily it's covered in Gorilla Glass 3 because otherwise it might scratch pretty easily. Now on the first Pebble I believe it was plastic, so having Gorilla Glass is a definite big improvement. So on the sides of the watches we've got a soft touch finish with your buttons, and the buttons feel really nice and tactile, and on the left hand side we've got one button which acts as your back button, and then on the right hand side we've got three buttons which are used for navigation and also for making selections. On the inside of the watch we've got some Pebble branding, your heart rate sensor and the area where you charge your smartwatch. Now the included charger is really nice, it's a flat style cable and it just feels really well put together. The connection is really solid by the magnets and it just goes in pretty much no force. Other watches I've tested have been a little bit fiddly, but this one just grabs on straight away. It's brilliant. Then we got onto the silicone band, and this is a 22mm strap and it feels great. It's soft, it's smooth, it doesn't rub or chafe against your wrist, and it's got a good amount of extension too, so if you've got a larger wrist or a thinner wrist like myself, then it's actually really comfortable. The only downside with the watch band is it does pick up a lot of dust and a lot of lint, so if you wear a lot of white clothing it does pick up a lot of that on the strap, so keeping it clean can be a bit of a chore. So if you're bothered about that, I'd look at one of the other colour options. So now we get onto the display, and it's 144 by 168 and it is monochrome. Like I said already, it's covered in Gorilla Glass 3. And the display is really good, it's surprisingly sharp, it's really clear and it's really easy to see in every lighting condition. So if you've got really bright lights inside, if you've got really bright sunlight outside, it is really easy to read in any condition. And it's got a decent amount of backlight for use at night as well. It's just a really great display. Yes, it's obviously not colour and it's not going to blow you away with its clarity, but for what you need, just for reading information, it's perfectly fine. So reading text, so when you get notifications you can easily read them. I have to wear glasses to read and even I can see them properly without my glasses too, so no complaints at all. So then we get onto the UI. Now it was running version 4.0 out of the box, but it's since had 3 updates and are now on version 4.3. Visually not much has changed since version 4.0, it's just been some minor increment changes that have just made the experience a little bit better. But the UI is simple, it's clean, it's basic and it's very easy to navigate. It's just a simple list menu with sub menus inside and it's just really easy and straightforward to navigate. You can't get lost in it, it's just really easy to use. So if you're new to smartwatches then this would be a good one because it's just so easy to use and to navigate. So on your main screen, you press the top right button and that will bring you up to see your fitness stuff. And I'll talk more about that later in the video, but in here you get to see your steps, your heart rate and your sleep. Then if you go back to your main menu by pressing the back button and then you press down, that'll bring you to your calendar and your events. So if you've got a lot of calendar stuff synced on your phone, it'll sync with your smartwatch and it'll just keep you updated throughout the day, which is really impressive. So now we get onto the feature set, and this has got water resistance up to 30 meters, which is pretty impressive. So you can take it in the shower, you can take it in the bath, raining, no issues whatsoever. It's also got Bluetooth, and the Bluetooth is actually really good. The connection is solid, it's stable, and I've not had any problems with it whatsoever. Even putting a few doors and walls between it, it still stayed pretty solid. It's only when I've left my phone in my room and then gone outside, it's lost its connection. So I'm pretty impressed. And it's got the aforementioned fitness stuff. Now this is a big improvement over the first generation one. It's got a heart rate sensor which works well. It provides basic heart rate throughout the day, and yeah, it might not be as good as a dedicated fitness tracker, but it just works really well. So then we've got your step tracker, and again this works really well. Not sure how it compares to a dedicated one, but it does track your steps really well, and you actually get to see your average steps and the past 7 days on the watch, which I think is really impressive. You then also get your sleep information, so you get your time slept, your deep sleep, and again that gives you the past 7 days, which is all really good and you can access from your smartwatch. So now we get onto the battery life, and the battery life is incredible. Now it takes approximately an hour and 20 minutes to charge this from dead, so I've got no complaints with that whatsoever. And the battery life is just incredible. You get up to a week's use. And being a YouTuber, I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of notifications, and loads of other stuff as well. And even with that, I'm still getting 6 to 7 days use, which is pretty incredible. No other smartwatch even comes close to that. So yeah, battery life, there's no issues whatsoever. I'm charging it once a week, and it just, yeah, it just lasts and lasts and lasts. So no issues for battery life whatsoever. So now we get onto the app, and it's actually a pretty good app. So if you want a separate video on it, because I can't cover it all in this video, then leave a comment down below. And you're firstly greeted by some information. So you get your activity in steps, your calories burnt, and you get the past 1, 7 or 31 days of information. The heart rate, you get your heart rate throughout the day, and obviously if you keep it in sync with your phone, then you're going to have no problems there, and it'll just sync backwards and forwards between the two. And there you get 1 or 7 days. And then finally your sleep, so you get your typical hours, so how much you've slept. You also get your deep sleep, your typical hours slept, and that is an average. And you also get a typical deep sleep, which is also your average, and it just averages it out over the past 31 days. And again, you get 1, 7 or 31 days on the app. Also, there are a lot of different watch faces now, so you can pretty much add them by that. You can also add new apps, and finally set your notifications, so you can pretty much select which apps give you notifications on your smartwatch and which apps don't, which I think is really great. But like I said, if you want a separate video on the app, then drop a comment. Right guys, and that just about wraps it up for this video. So what do I think of this smartwatch, and is it the best one out there? Well, in my opinion, it's the best budget one you can pick up. I've had a few cheap smartwatches and they've just not worked well. They've had a lot of issues, a lot of bugs and glitches, and they've just not worked really well. Now this for £100 is a great buy. It gets all the basics right, and it even gets all the other features right too, and I've just had no problems with it whatsoever. It's just worked flawlessly in my opinion. Yes, it's not the best looking smartwatch out there, but I think for £100, if you want something that's going to outlast pretty much everything else in terms of what you can pick up by Android Wear and Apple, then yeah, it outlasts all of them in terms of battery, and it's even got some other great features too that some of those watches don't have. So yeah, for £100, I definitely recommend checking one out if you're looking for a budget smartwatch that does everything right and more, and it just keeps you updated to pretty much everything that you need. It does everything a smartwatch does, and that's it. It does it really well. Right guys, so that is pretty much it for this review. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, then that would be amazing. It goes a long way to help out the channel, and you get to see videos like this and more coming very soon. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you all on the very next one.